Hi everyone, I'm FMGreeno. Welcome along to episode 28 of the Greeno Tour. This is the start of our first season proper with Luton Town. Let's go and see what we've been up to over the summer. The first thing worthy of note, I think, is that we have a new stadium. Power Court. That's a pretty exciting name, isn't it? 17,500 all-seater stadium. Potential to upgrade it with another 4,000 or 5,000 should we need it. Top corporate facilities in there, so that's going to help with the revenue a little bit. Obviously, it's about another 7,000 more seats than we had at Kenilworth Road, so that's all good. In terms of other things that have been going on at the club, we have added some more staff. We were able to get a couple more coaches in, which helps share the training load a little bit. And as you can see here, our coaches are pretty good for this level. It looks a little worse than it did when I showed you at the end of last season, but I think that's because the teams that have come down out of the Premier League have got very, very good setups. But other than that, our scouting is pretty good. Medical staff, not too bad. Things are looking pretty good behind the scenes. Of course, it wouldn't be a summer without plenty of transfers. We've had a few coming in, a few going out. We managed to get a senior affiliation with Manchester United, which I think is going to be really helpful for us this season and beyond, potentially. Man U obviously have a decent youth setup, plenty of decent youngsters coming through for us to borrow. The first of those we managed to get in here is Barrington Brown. He prefers to play left back, but we may use him further up the pitch, I think. We'll just have to wait and see how the season goes, but I think he's going to be a decent young player for us. At the end of last season, we also let 3 players go out for money. Tyreek Johnson, who wasn't really getting a game for us. He's gone off to Rotherham. Alex Palmer, backup goalkeeper, was on too much money. Shipped him out to West Brom. And Jake Collier, just a youngster, gone off to Sheffield Wednesday. If we look at what's happened this season so far, you can see here we signed a young player, Lee Jonas, centre-half from Liverpool. Going to be a rotation option for us this season. I think he might even start today in our first game. But I think, yeah, this kid's got some potential for sure. Decent numbers all round. Anthony Alanga is another Man U youngster who's come in. He's got a little bit of a knock, but we're still going to start him today. Today he's going to play as a striker because one of our other players that I would normally play as striker is unavailable due to being at the Olympics. But I think this kid's going to do bits for us this season. I think he really, really looks good. This is the guy who's gone off to the Olympics. Another loan signing, Balogun from Arsenal. Definitely want to play him up top. Definitely want to play him as an advanced forward. Similar role to how I used Callum Wilson at Newcastle in the beta save. And one player we've actually signed for money, Max O'Leary, who is a very, very decent goalkeeper. So we've now got 2 championship standard keepers to fight out that #1 slot, which is very, very good. As you can see here, plenty of players on the out list. Most of them are youngsters out on loan, though. We don't have an under-23 or reserve team. So the only way these guys are going to get any minutes this season is if they go and play elsewhere. A couple of players that we have let go for money, though. James Jones, you'll remember he scored those couple of goals against Birmingham in the last game, end of last season. He's gone off to Inverness. Another youngster go out to Forest Green. The rest are all loans. If we take a look at our pre-season form, overall it's been pretty good. Now you know how normally a team will, first game, nice little run out against some local non-league team just to get some minutes in the legs. Not us. We went to Paris Saint-Germain for some reason. Got done 4-0. But it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Since then, we have won every single game we played. We went to Le Havre. We've played a couple of sort of non-leaguey teams. We played Ostend in the game that opened the stadium. Beat them 4-0. Just beaten Alaves 3-0. So overall, it's been going pretty well. Today, we are up against Oldham. They have just been promoted from League One. So hopefully, we're in for a good result. You can see here, the media are predicting us to finish in 17th place, which probably isn't an unfair assessment. Ideally, I want to be heading up into this kind of area, though. If we can finish somewhere between 10th and 14th, I think that'll be a very, very good season. Today's opponents, Oldham, as you can see here, predicted to finish rock bottom, so pressure on to get 3 points. Let's go and have a look at the team. There are a couple of players missing from this lineup who would be in my first choice 11 if they were available. Mpanzu here is a good midfielder. Unfortunately, still banned from his indiscretions at the end of last season. And Balogun, the lad we got on loan from Arsenal, as I mentioned, he's off at the Olympics, probably back in a week or so. So what that means is that Elanga is going to start up top. Ideally, I'd want him to be here on the left-hand side, to be honest. And then there's a bit of a fight here between whether Devine or Brown will start at left back. A few other new players in the side for you to see today. So O'Leary is going to start in place of Pears. We have this young lad, Kumetio. He was out on loan last season, but we've brought him back in over the summer. He looks a very, very good, promising young talent to me. So he's going to start today. Brown, obviously, we've talked about him. He's playing out on the left-hand side today. Other than that, some fairly familiar faces from the last episode. Let's go and get into the game. So there's our first look at the new stadium. Looks pretty good and pretty full today. Corner here for us. Meteo there. Berry. Oh, good shot, but blocked. Very positive start to the game in the first minute there. Good opportunity for us. Long may that continue. So I think I've been fairly pleased with our business over the summer. In terms of the staff we've brought in, that all looks good. The players we've brought in are all ones who are going to be there or thereabouts in or around the first team. No youngsters come in. Not much point us bringing youngsters in when there's no reserve football, to be honest. So, but I'm pleased with the business we've done. I think I'd like another central midfielder if possible, and we've got plenty of cash still kicking around to be able to do that. We haven't really spent any of the transfer budget. The only fee we paid was that 600 grand for the goalkeeper. So we've got 10 million in the budget. We've got about 28,000, I think, left in the wage budget. And of course, we can jiggle that about if needs be. So there's the opportunity for us to bring in a bit of a marquee signing, even if we can. Bit disappointing this first half so far. Looks like Oldham are kind of digging in and trying to stifle us a little bit, I suppose is the right word to use. Took me a while to think of it, but... Oh, what's happened? Oh, thank goodness for that. Offside. That wasn't a very good looking bit of defending, was it? But he did just stray off. Goodness, that was close. Good ball in there by Power. I don't know what the keeper was doing. He should have come and claimed that, really. But it looks like we're going in at the break 0-0. I don't think the crowd in the new stadium will be terribly happy with that, but we have been the better side at least. So I think we're going to get in there, tell them we're not happy with the performance, get them back out for the second half. Maybe we'll move to a positive mentality. Elanga here we're going to have to keep an eye on. Obviously he's carrying that little knock. He's back to full fitness tomorrow, so we're going to keep an eye on him. If his fitness drops or if it looks like he's picking up even more of an injury, we'll take him out. There's not much happening here at all, is there? I think I'm going to get in, make a couple of changes, and I will be back in a moment. So what I've done is taken off the striker, Elanga, just in case he picks up a knock. Also taken Mahoney out on the right-hand side. He wasn't having a particularly good game. So Gletzel has come on there, and the old man, Collins, up front. We have an opportunity here from a free kick. It's headed clear, though. Could this be a counter-attack for Oldham? Possibly. Oh, no, they've given the ball away. There's Collins. Come on, son. Score. Yes! 1-0. That experience coming off the bench. It didn't look like he was going to make the most of it at one point. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of pace, Collins, but he managed to get past the defender. I thought he might have taken one touch too many there, but coolly tucks it into the far corner. And so we're 1-up in the first game of the season. I say Oldham have offered very, very little. Their XG of 0.01. So, yeah, that's not terribly good. So Devine here is on a yellow card. We're going to advise him to ease off tackles for the last few minutes because we don't want him getting sent off. It's not been the greatest performance all time, but certainly defensively we've been very, very solid, which is good. We're into injury time here. 5 minutes of it. Are we going to get a win in our first game? It looks like we might just. And there it is. It wasn't pretty, but we'll take the 3 points. I don't think there's much point in looking at the league table at this point, but safe to say we're in the top half after a win. I think where we're going to come back next will probably be this Aston Villa game. Obviously, we have the transfer window still open throughout August, so could be a little bit of business still to take place. International window here. And then we come back for a very, very big game against the team relegated from the Premier League last season. If we take a look at Aston Villa, Tyrone Mings captain, Jack Grealish still there, Yerry Mina. So they're an excellent side. They're going to be a real challenge for us. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I think we've made some good signings, and it was good to get 3 points, even if it wasn't the most exciting performance of all time. If you have enjoyed it, please drop a like on there for me. And of course, if you've got any comments about this episode, the series as a whole, my move to Luton, anything you want to discuss really, drop it in the comments section below. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Come and hop on the Greenobus. There is plenty of room for you all. It just remains for me to thank you for watching, and I will see you soon for some more action with Luton Town. Bye for now.